influence in their lives for years to come. Before we go too far, we should give you a bit of background. I am a public speaker, newspaper columnist, and the author of some best-selling books, including For Women Only, What You Need to Know About the Inner Lives of Men, and its companion book, For Men Only. Lisa is a screenwriter, a youth speaker and leader, and the co-author with me of For Young Women Only, What You Need to Know About How Guys Think. This series has been dedicated entirely to investigating and analyzing the key surprises about the people who are most important to us. And as sometimes bewildered parents ourselves, we knew very early on that we needed to dig into those things that we just tend not to get about our kids. As with the previous books, these eye-opening findings are entirely research-based. We're not psychologists or family therapists. Rather, we are trained analysts just crazy enough to try to apply our skills and experience to helping people understand one another. I'm a Harvard-trained analyst that comes from Wall Street. Lisa was a business appraiser conducting high-level valuations. And as analysts, we think the best way we can serve parents who want to understand what's going on with their kids is by taking you directly to the real experts, the kids themselves. At first, some observers questioned whether children could really speak about their inner lives with any sort of clarity. But in our research, we were amazed by the profound insights and often brilliant analysis the kids, primarily teens and preteens, offered into what's going on inside their hearts and minds and what they most need from their parents. At this point, you might already want to ditch a book that forces you to listen to teenagers, especially if you're having a bad week or thinking ungenerous thoughts about your blessed offspring. Or are we the only ones who do that? We won't deny that some of what we heard from the kids was challenging, but overall, we think you'll be not only surprised by what these kids have to say, but also encouraged and better able to relate to your own kids, at least most of the time. So, what are these surprising findings about the inner lives of our children? Our book covers 6 areas in which parents often misunderstand what's happening with their kids when they hit the tween and teen years, and the surprising truth our research uncovered. Let's look at these 6 surprises. Number 1. We think peer pressure pushes kids to rebel and behave in reckless ways without thinking through the consequences. But what's really happening is that the intoxicating nature of freedom and the fear of losing it can lead even good kids to make choices that look like recklessness and even rebellion. But directly addressing their craving for independence will help them build responsibility. Number 2. Teens seem to reject their parents and their parents' values, no longer caring much what their parents think. But actually, separating themselves from their parents' identities is one of the only ways healthy teenagers can develop their own identities. But even as they seem to push us away, our children still secretly want to know our values and need our affirmation of who they are becoming. Number 3. We are convinced that teens don't want rules or discipline. But in reality, although our teens test our authority and argue with rules, they secretly want us to stand firm as parents and will lose respect for us if we don't. Number 4. We think that when kids make mistakes, they disregard their parents' opinion or criticism. However, while they may not look like it, kids want the security of knowing we are making the effort to understand them and to be there for them regardless of their mistakes. But kids will emotionally shut out a parent they see as judgmental. Number 5. We believe kids don't listen to parents. Actually, kids tend to stop talking because they perceive parents as rotten listeners. But they will open up when we prove we're safe and when we calmly acknowledge their feelings before addressing a problem. Number 6. It appears that teens give in easily to negative attitudes, afflicting their families with sullenness, anger, or backtalk over what seem to be minor issues. Really, though, what looks like an attitude problem may actually be a sign of insecurity. But actively countering our children's fears can build their confidence and help them become more respectful of parents and others. You might be wondering how we managed to wring all this information out of a bunch of monosyllabic adolescents. Well, first, we conducted